you need to navigate a new country, new language. I didn't lose Mexico. I kind of like also gained Germany in a way. Feel the feelings because there's a reason why they're there. It's also a process that you need to go through.
Yeah.
And to understand why you're feeling like that.
Loneliless, a podcast to reconnect.
9,700 kilometers. That's the distance between Mexico City and Berlin. Paulina moved from Mexico City to Berlin and started a whole new life here. And that's why I wanted to ask Paulina about her experience, how she found social connection living so far away from her hometown. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Enya.
So maybe we can start off with a little introduction. What does your life look like at the moment?
So currently I'm starting a new period in my life. So I just graduated from my master's, which is what brought me to Germany. And the choice of why Berlin specifically, because I have a boyfriend and we had been together for already, I think, like 3 years, 2 of them in long distance. So that was also going well. And yeah, why not combine both of them? So I kind of put myself out there and, as you said, changed my life and like changed everything by moving from Mexico City to Berlin. And for the first time in like 2 years, I finally can say I'm building a routine, finding stability, because as you said, moving from one place to another is crazy. So yeah, now I'm working here and also trying to keep in touch with my friends from uni and the ones that I've made like in these past 2 years, while also handling, not forgetting anyone from Mexico that's important to me, and yeah, like keeping that in mind as well and present.
So growing up in Mexico, is loneliness or social isolation something that is talked about? Because I feel like also here in Germany it's getting more and more recognition, and also in politics, in the whole media landscape, like we're talking a lot more about loneliness and social connection. How is that in Mexico?
So I think loneliness is probably still a taboo topic in Mexico. Like no one really touches it. Also because in a way I feel like it's admitting a weakness, that you don't have enough friends or like a good enough family to not feel lonely in a way, probably. And Mexico is like it has such a group culture. I don't know, I feel like, yeah, I don't know if this is actually a thing, but like in the psychology of like communities, Mexico is actually like very extroverted. So everything you do really needs to be like with other people, like big groups, and it's just weird if someone stays at home or doesn't want to meet people. Like that's very like frowned upon.
Wow. Okay.
Like it's always like, no, you need to go out, like you need to do things, and like you need to meet people and hang out with your friends. So yeah, definitely like loneliness has a negative connotation, and yeah, it's not something that's talked about. And I think probably there's a lot of people that feel lonely because it's not about how many people you have around you, but actually like the true connections that you have. So maybe you're even in a room full of people, or like with all your friends, or like also maybe family, but if no one really like goes like deeper than just the surface of like, hey, how are you, then you're still lonely, but then no one knows and you won't talk about it.
Yeah.
Except maybe if you go to the therapist, but also that's not that common still, especially like in the older generation. I have some really, really good friends from Latin America, from Ecuador specifically. They really also carried me through all this process because we were all feeling the same. We kind of come like from same backgrounds and like same culture, same attachment to our friends and families. And yeah, it's just the people that you can talk to about these things. And yeah, it really warms your heart, I guess.
Yeah, imagine. And how did you find them? How did you meet?
So luckily, my university was very international. So one of the things is that everyone was just like me. We didn't have a lot of people here, we were kind of new in the city. So then we made very, very good friends there. And yeah, one of my super good friends is from there. And then also, so I go to church, and it's just like something that I really like doing like every Sunday. It's kind of like something that grounds me because it's like a tradition that I carry from Mexico. And yeah, so everyone said always like, yeah, you need to find spaces where you like with what you like to do, and there you will find your people. And I was like, yeah, but like, how am I gonna find like someone? I thought that they always said like, yeah, a hobby or something. And then like with one of my good friends, I was always seeing this girl like Sundays at 10 a.m. there. And I was like, she looks like she's a nice person. And then one day she approached me after we saw each other like 3 Sundays in a row. And she was like, oh, do you want to grab a coffee afterwards? I know that we like always go on Sundays to this place. And I was like, yeah, that would be nice. And then from that day on, like we started going for coffees like every Sunday, like 11 a.m. And then we just built like our own routine, which was amazing. And now like her boyfriend is here also, and we meet, and it's just like become a staple. And for me, like Sundays are family days in Mexico, and it's like been like that for my whole life. And now like with her having this routine of like we meet at 10 and then we have the coffee at 11, and it's just like a new kind of family that I've built.
Oh, that's so nice.
And then also she has met other people, like also my other Ecuadorian friend, and now we're all like also doing this routine. She also had an Indian friend, and then she also joined our routine, and they're all so nice, and it's amazing. Honestly, it's just like, yeah, my whole, like my new family here, let's say it like
That's
this.
so nice. Also, I imagine that it maybe wasn't easy for her to approach you. You never know. Maybe you think, oh no, she's gonna be annoyed or whatever.
You really need to do it. Like if you are feeling lonely or something, like what's the worst thing that can happen? Like they will say, no, I don't want to grab a coffee, and then it's okay. But then you can have like a friend for life, and I don't know, it's amazing. Yeah. And now recently, like also some other friends from Mexico moved here. We didn't know each other from before, but we had a friend in common, and now we've been meeting like so much, and they've become such good friends. So then slowly I'm building kind of like my bubble. And what's also amazing is that you can bring people together. So this couple that moved here, they also didn't know anyone, and also like I've been introducing them to my friends, and like we've been just like hanging out with each other, and it's nice to see like also how they're making their own friendships in a way. And it's not like we just meet in a group and it's because of me. No, because they're also having like their connection, and that's amazing.
So you also said that it kind of took you 2 years to finally find your routine. How was that in the beginning? Like I imagine it must be difficult to build or find connection here.
Yes, so it's very challenging because I think especially at the beginning, your feelings are very overwhelming, because you're someone new in a whole new city. Like you don't know anyone. I mean, even though you know a few people, because thankfully, I mean, I knew my boyfriend and also a couple of friends here, it's still not what you're used to. It's a whole new environment, and you need to get adapted to it. So even from going to the supermarket, I could not do the groceries the way I do it in Mexico, because you don't like, there's not even the same produce or products. So it was just crazy.
And so was it more like a getting used to it, or do you recall like certain special things that were especially difficult in getting used to?
Everything, honestly. Like first, the communication part, because like in Mexico I was living with my parents, and we always had like dinner together, and like I saw them every day. That's kind of like the way it is in Mexico. And then I came here and I was living alone. I had to take care of myself, because if I don't do it, no one else will. Like it also, I think, made me grow a lot, and also realize that I don't know, the relationships that I had in Mexico, there are some that are, I don't know, stronger. I feel like they say that as you grow older, like you have like less friends, let's say it like this. But I think coming to Berlin made this process a bit quicker, and you find like who your true friends are and who are actually making the effort to keep in touch while you're here, and like also listen to you. I don't know, when you feel like you're lonely, because I called a lot of my friends and also my family, because it's just, you need to navigate a new country, new language, new routines. Also, I don't know, going to a different university with different people, it's just something you're not used to, and you are uncomfortable at the beginning, especially because you're growing. But yeah, it was very challenging at the beginning, to be honest.
So you kept in touch with FaceTime or video calls.
Yes.
And was it then also, I mean, it's the time difference also, so I imagine that must have been also difficult to organize. But did you find it hard, like finding the balance between keeping the connections that you already have in Mexico and then also making time for trying to find new connections here?
Yes, it's been very, very, very challenging, because also you need to distribute the time differently. I mean, as you said, there's a time difference. So, I don't know, in the mornings here, sometimes I felt lonely, and yeah, but who do you call? Everyone's asleep. So then you also need to navigate through it. And then also really prioritizing when you are in contact with the people from back home. Because before you had all the time in the world, I don't know, I could meet with my friends on the weekends, and maybe we wouldn't even talk, just like watch movies. So now it's like quality over quantity, I guess. Also with my parents, I think now I have even better communication with them than before.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I don't know, I feel like, yeah, it's the quality time. Like, you really need to make the time that you have with them worth it. And also at the same time, being able to get new friends here and also provide time for them, because that's how relationships work. I mean, you need to put in effort and time. And at the beginning, I don't know, it's very weird that you feel like, I don't know these people, like, how will I ever like make such good friends again, because you already have friends from like many years. And just that's how you build them. So also putting the time here was a bit challenging sometimes.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
And in those moments when you said, for example, you feel a bit lonely, you want to call your friends or family, but they're asleep because of the time difference. What did you do in those moments?
Yeah, so I thankfully, like, I have some hobbies that I really enjoy that also kind of connect me with myself. So also reading, for me, it's something very nice, because yeah, I get outside of myself, but also it shows me something. And then you connect like with the characters in some other way. And then also meeting with my friends from here, making plans with them. Also with my boyfriend, like, he was a great support while I was here. But of course, he was also at work, so it's not like I could be like, hey, do you want to hang out? So yeah, just trying to find things that keep me in a certain way busy. But at the beginning also, it was very good to just feel it. Like, feel the feelings, because there's a reason why they're there, and you should not put so much noise to stop that from coming, because it's also a process that you need to go through.
Yeah.
And to understand why you're feeling like that. I think that's also very, very valuable. But yeah, Berlin, thankfully, it's a very multicultural city, so I was able to also go out and listen to the different languages that everyone was speaking, and that was also amazing. Like, I didn't feel that alone. Like, I knew that people just come here from like everywhere, and they adapt, and they are here also living their lives. And I knew that at some point I would feel how I'm feeling now, that like a bit more I belong, and like more established here.
And what I also found super interesting, what you just said about that, in those moments when you were maybe feeling a bit lonely or you didn't have somebody to talk to, that you also went to do something which is, oh, you said reading, which I think is super nice, because in that moment it sounds like you weren't, let's say, you didn't think, oh my God, I need to see someone, I need to reach out to someone right now, but also to have those moments where you're like, okay, maybe not now, maybe now it's just a moment where I spend time with myself. So I think that's super interesting. Would that be something that you would also recommend to somebody, like maybe not being too strict with yourself and having more connections?
Yes, I think it's a process, and like every process, you should not also force it. And like you also need time to develop yourself, and yeah, you really should also make time for yourself and not just go out all the time and trying to just force relationships and like to fit in with people. You also need to first take a look in yourself. So I think that's very valuable.
And I feel like you were also pretty patient with it, no? Because now you said, okay, it took like kind of like 2 years for me to really have that routine. So how long did you think it took for you to be comfortable with that?
So I remember, like, sometimes you feel like you're settled in, but then something happens and you realize you're not. So for example, after 6 months, I went back home for the holidays, and when I came back, it was all over like a shock, like a culture shock, and the feeling of, no, I kind of want to go back. It's this is not my place, maybe. But at the same time, there was something in me saying like, no, but like you actually enjoy it. Now it's just like the feeling that comes to you. So I think really to feel fully like here, it was like 1 year or after 1 year. And also I think what was important in that is that I developed relationships with people that didn't feel like I just met them yesterday. Because you also need to feel like you are putting down roots. And like for me, part of that is like having like a network and like friendships and relationships with other people. So yeah, it takes long, honestly. You really need to be patient, as you said. But yeah.
One thing that I also thought was interesting that my co-host said in another episode was that feeling lonely or maybe feeling a bit disconnected is something that is almost like a kind of like companion that's going to visit you from time to time your whole life. So I'm really happy to see that now you feel connected here and you have your social network. But I guess that there are still moments where you're a bit homesick maybe, or you miss Mexico, you miss your family. Do you also maybe have places in Berlin that remind you of home? Or what do you do in those moments when you're like, no, I really want to go home right now, but I can't?
Yeah, so food, I mean, Mexico is very known for its food, for its flavors, so that's also something that really brings me home. So I try to go to a restaurant like for tacos or something, and yeah, that really makes me feel way better. Then also going out to cafes and like to public places. I think Mexico is also a very busy city, so that reminds me a bit of that. And yeah, just listening to the different languages that there are always, I don't know, makes me feel so lucky that in a way I am here. So it reminds me that, yeah, of course I'm sad and it's okay to feel, but I didn't lose Mexico. I kind of like also gained Germany in a way.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, so also going out reminds me of this, that my bubble, like my world was smaller in a way before, and now it's becoming bigger. And yeah, so that's super nice.
That's so beautiful. Oh, that's really nice.
Disclaimer. The next part of the conversation briefly discusses discrimination. If you're affected by discrimination in Germany and are looking for support, the Federal Anti-Discrimination Agency offers free and confidential counseling and resources. You'll find the link in the episode description.
I imagine that you also, I bet, had like negative experiences with being here. how did you cope with maybe discrimination or prejudice, for example, in finding a flat or maybe at work?
Yeah, so I think that's something that you are aware that can happen before you come here, because you're obviously like at a disadvantage, you could say, because you, I don't know, like thankfully I didn't experience anything that was really negative and that was just like really prejudice in my face. Probably there's like some underlying things that I've been through, but I think also luckily Berlin is quite a diverse city. Diverse city. So I don't know, I've never felt like very discriminated against. Maybe also that's my outlook.
Maybe some people are listening right now who are in a similar situation, or maybe they just moved to, let it be Berlin or just another German city or wherever, far away from home. What would you like to say to them? Is there something that, for example, what has helped you, what you would like to tell them maybe to try?
So first, it gets better. At the beginning, you feel like you're super lost, and then slowly you get more into the hang of it. It is definitely a must to learn the language. I mean, I fully haven't done it. And also, like, be patient with yourself, because this is a process. And yeah, just really rely on the people that you know are like your anchors, and like take your rituals from home to this new place. Maybe you cannot do it exactly how you did it, but at least something that anchors you and that reminds you of like what you had. You still have it, I mean, it's there, but also just like open yourself up to these new possibilities while still like staying true to yourself. I don't know.
I love that. I love definitely love that. I love the ritual part of it, because it's so something that feels very, you can grasp that very easily, and hope they can try that out maybe.
Yeah.
I do have one last question.
Yes.
Because you said that you also enjoy reading or like reading. Did you have maybe some books specifically, or maybe also some movies or just media in general that were your absolute comfort books or movies in that times where you needed a little bit of comfort?
I cannot remember like any specific book, but I am very drawn to novels, because you really can live like in these characters' lives and see that maybe they didn't exist, but at the end they also achieve something, and like it's something that you're also kind of achieving, like surviving in a new country. And I don't know, that's very nice, like also to just step out of your world for a bit and also learn and like the experiences of other characters or like people. But yeah, in particular, no, just also now I remember with my friends from Mexico, we have this app called Letter Loop, and it's amazing. So every month we get like a few questions that we can ask, or also the app just brings out these questions automatically, and we all answer them. There's a deadline, and then you get them every month in your inbox, and you can also attach pictures and stuff. So then it's like reading a newspaper from your friends' lives, like every month. And then it's so nice. And that really keeps you updated. And I think like probably if you are in Mexico, sometimes you don't even talk that much with them, because you're also like in group settings, and maybe when you meet, you just forget. And this is like such a nice way of also connecting with them. And I don't know, I really enjoy it.
That's so cool. What's the app called again?
Letter Loop.
Letter Loop. Okay, we're gonna put that in the description.
No,
I want to start that too. Oh my god, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Paulina.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Loneliless. We hope that this episode resonated with you, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or your own experiences of finding connection abroad. You can share them in the comments, or find us on your favorite social media platforms. It's time to reconnect. See you next time here at Loneliless. Enya and Lea.